Welcome back, everybody, to another deck profile here with Chris from CTJ. This is Saiyan Elite. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today I'm bringing you guys a different variant of the Piccolo leader. I went here a little bit, sorry. Welcome everybody back to another deck profile. This is Chris from CTJ, the Saiyan Elites. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today I'm going to bring you guys a different, slightly different variant of the Piccolo Surge hand destruction build that is going around. This is just a dual color build, so we're not doing tricolor with this one. And I changed a few things, not a ton, but I wanted to change a few things up just to make this deck a little more, I guess, proactive going into the draft box. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when I show you guys this deck. So if you guys like these videos, please like, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what decks you guys like to see us run in the future. And for this leader has a pretty overpowered ability, which you can draw 2 cards per turn. You scry the top card, put it on the bottom of your deck, and then draw. Or you can scry the top card, put it on the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2. Whichever way kind of works. It just has to be at the beginning of your turn. And this card awakens when you put 1 blue and 1 green card underneath this card, and then you draw 3, untap 1, and you flip. And then now it becomes Piccolo and Gohan. And this card, this is one of the most powerful leaders. That's why it's won an event. It placed second at the last big event in Vegas. Pretty nasty. But these 2 effects, they can be used once you are at 3 life or less. And the first one, you drop a card out underneath this, and you can pick up a blue-green multicolor from your energy. I'm sorry, from your drop, place in your energy, ignoring energy exhaust. So you basically just ramp 1 energy. And the other one is you drop a card, and your opponent drops 2 cards to the warp. It kind of keeps with the hand destruction theme. Depending on the matchup, depending on how the game's going, you will use both of these in both scenarios. So definitely a very good overall leader for both offense and defense. So with this leader, we have to run a little bit of Self-Awakening. So we run 2 of the Newfound Power Gohans, and we run 3 of the Strenuous Onslaught Kaioken Gokus. This one, this is kind of your turn, your turn 2, play it, take a life, gain 10k in crit. It's good for applying a little bit of pressure. Also, this one is very nice as well. It's a 3-drop where you can choose 1 or 2 life if you really need to awaken. And then at the end of your turn, you get to restand 1 of your energy. This card also has another effect later on in the deck, but just kind of good to have a balance of both blue and green self-awakening cards. I used to use the, alongside this, I would use Talent Awakening, I think it's called Awakening Talent Pan from the World Tournament set, but it's going to be getting a reprint that may go back in this deck, but I really like the Kaioken Gokus for a particular reason. Energy-wise, we run the Android 17s, I only run 3. I wanted to have more space in my deck for other things. I think 3 is plenty. Once you can get 2 of these down, you're probably just going to play mainly green for the rest of the game anyways. So, seems to be worked pretty well. Now for the my own little spice in this deck. So we run Brienne, and goes into the 5-drop, which then will go into the 7-drop here. So main reason why I'm running this package is because it's green. Green is, I'm running a mainly green deck. Having these cards in there just felt so much. Nice thing is too is these 2 have barrier. I know a lot of things in the format right now get around barrier, but early game, not really going to be, if someone's wasting one of those cards that ignore barrier on one of these, it actually is helping me out in the end. But this card, you play it, has barrier, you get to search for another maiden. This card comes in, evolves on top of this for 3, has barrier, 25k, so it gets around denial. And you pick one of your opponent's battle cards and send it. Oh, actually, you just pick one of the battle cards and KO it, right? Yep, you just pick a battle card and KO it as long as it doesn't have barrier. And then this evolves into this for 1 energy. And what's nice is that you can swing with this, and then tap 1, evolve into this, and then restand it. That's what the effect says. Really sloppy hand motion there. And then this is a 7-drop 30k with double strike, and when this card actually swings, your opponent drops 2 cards. So even if they negate it, the auto still goes through, and they drop 2 cards. Different variation of the Zamasu that a lot of people use, but just with the U2, the Universe 2 engine. There's a lot of Universe 2 cards that are coming out in the draft box, which will probably end up going into this deck, just because they are extremely powerful. But this is just kind of a good base for that. I think the Universe 2 stuff is pretty good, and just a lot of people won't really see it coming, I feel. And we run 2 of the Bad Omens. This card you want to see turn 1, hopefully charge it. Then later on in the game, you basically can just rip a battle card from your opponent's field and from their life, put it in the drop. It instantly does a damage for 4 energy. You do have to remove an energy to do it, but because of your Piccolo effect, you can just ramp another energy and be right back there and not have to really worry about it too much. 2 seems to be plenty. For super combos, we run 4 of the Android 18s. Again, for more hand destruction, you place this. You combo with this. They place the bottom card. They place a card from their deck, the card from their hand to the bottom of their deck, and just kind of goes into the theme of the extra cards that we're going to get into, with just making your opponent drop endless amounts of cards. So the conductor of all of that is going to be this Master Roshi Kamehameha Origins. Card by itself is not very good. It's a 5k, but you want to get this card in your drop as soon as possible. For 1 green, you can pull back any green card from your drop or your well, you play this card to your drop, I'm sorry. So you play this card from your drop to your warp, and you pull any green extra card from your drop back to your hand. So you're just recycling some extra cards. And so with that, we run 4 or 3 of the special beam cannons. Let's put the hollow on top, because that makes more sense. There you go. So 3 of the special beam cannons. We run 4 sacrifices, 2 cell Earth Destroying Kamehamehas, and 3 hidden potentials. And all of these are green. This is multicolor, so it counts as green. And we can basically pull back any of these cards. Preferably these 2. Probably my favorite. Hidden potential. Obviously has its perks. This, we took out Dimension Magic to add this because we wanted to have more green extra cards in the deck, and just counts as a negate. You can also pay the life cost because your leader's in a Namekian, and do this if your opponent's swinging with triple strike or quad strike or something, and you have the ability to negate. Just take a life and do this. It'll save you the time. But being able to combo one of these, and an Android 18. You're destroying so much of their hand. And what's nice is that these 2 cards, you get to choose a card from your opponent's hand. Choose a card. So it's obviously it's random, but you get to choose the card. So you get to set up the RNG, as opposed to them having to pick a card that they may necessarily not want to drop. So this is a good way of being able to remove secret rares, negates, super combos, that kind of thing. We do run some blue extra cards. We run 3 of the sensu beans, and that's it. 4 just seem too clunky considering we don't run a lot of blue energy. But this is just fine. You just pay 1 of your multicolors, restand another one. It's not used as much anymore, and I'm kind of glad, because I feel like this card is such a staple in green-blue. It feels like a crutch, and it feels like we're getting to a point where we may not need to use this as much. So, but 3 seems to be fine for now. So we find something else that we can fully replace it from. Speaking of the, I spoke about this card earlier, the Goku Black Masu combo that a lot of people run. I see a lot of people are running the 5-drop Deity's Wrath instead of these, which is something that I'm looking into doing, just because you don't have to, you can basically skip this step. So this card comes out, you can play for active battle, you can pay 2, play this card out, KO a 2-drop or less. And then for 3 more energy, you can play out a 5-drop or more from your hand. Then you basically play this out. This card is just kind of like the conductor of the Zamasu build. A very small package. This may be ending up getting replaced with more Universe 2 stuff when it comes out. But this card's really cool because you can choose 2 battle cards or 2 cards from your opponent's hand and send them to the warp. And that's up to. So you can choose 1 battle card and 1 card from their hand, or 2 cards from their draw. 2 cards from their battle area, 2 cards from their hand, whichever one works for you. And it has doubles, and it has double strike and indestructible, so they have to try to neg it to to get rid of it. It's only 2 that I have of this, which is the only reason why I'm running it, and don't have anything else to really fit in this place at the moment. But like I said, Deity's Wrath from the draft box 4 was probably something that I would be looking into replacing this stuff with, or just Universe 2 stuff from the new set. And also, this is a good way of being able to scare your opponent, because if you play this, if you're able to get one of these out, it's fantastic. But your opponent is going to be forced to use some sort of resources to remove this card, and that just kind of helps you out in the long run, considering this is not a huge win con for you. Win cons, though, well, we'll get to that in a second. So I run 3 counterplays. She did the Cruel. You're playing green, you should play this card. Comes out for 2 if you have a multicolor. You KO for a drop or less, and then you send a card from their hand to the warp. Very good card. This card ties in with the Goku that we had earlier, which will play out probably one of the biggest boss monsters in blue, probably actually in the game. Is Gogeta 7. Barrier, deflect, pay 1 life, and you're able, and if you have sparking 10, you're able to basically push their entire hand back into their deck, make them draw 3 cards. So people who have try to build up really big hand size, especially in the mirror match, because Piccolos are not going to want to swing at you. They're just going to play an energy, maybe play a battle card and pass, and basically just keep everything in their hand until they get this card out, and then they can basically go for game. Very good card. Will not be surprised if eventually it gets banned, but right now, still very good card. You should play it. It's not that expensive too. I think this card is like $3. And the final 2 cards we have in the deck is we have 1 Fu Shadow Mystery and 1 Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. This is probably my favorite card that's ever been released so far. I absolutely love this card. Fu is great for ending games because, especially if you're playing against the mirror matchup, when this card comes out, if they don't run Tricolor, they don't use Frost Deadly Poison, they don't have Cold Bloodlust, Champa, that kind of stuff, this card, actually Champa I don't think would work. This card basically turns off everything that your opponent can do. Can't use super combos, can't use blocker, can't use abilities except for on their leader. Got a lot, and that's also for their turn as well. The only card that this I feel struggles with is against the Broly Surge leader, because he can just use one of his Surge abilities and pop this card and remove it, because it doesn't negate leader abilities. But it's still just a really good card. It's a 10 drop, so it gets around Rogue, Condemnation, and all that kind of stuff. So very good card. You should play it. Super cheap. Just a great way to tie in some endgame stuff. And then Super Saiyan 4 can be played both on defense and offense. Obviously, this takes 3 blue energy, which we will be able to have at some point in the game. I know we run a lot of green, but we have a good amount of extra cards, and I can always play. Generally, what's funny is a lot of the time I'll end up playing a Senzu Bean for energy, or one of the Kaioken Gokus, and then obviously I can pick a multicolored card from this and play it underneath. So let's say I have, a Bad Omen. Let's say I have, would probably never do this, but you have hidden potential. You can play these cards from underneath him and play them and play them with no energy exhaust to just get another energy if I need to ramp up and play out Vegeta. Even if I have, 4 energy on board, if I have a card underneath this still, I can always ramp up and play this out. It's very good for ending games with offense. Play it. It gets double strike, crit, and triple attack. By itself, unless they can remove this card from the board, it's probably gonna at least burn all their resources, if not win the game. Because it's swinging 3 times for double strike crit, so 6 damage total. And then its defensive effect actually is super useful. You play this card out, you remove 1 card ignoring barrier, so basically any card in the game unless it has indestructible. And then you get to ramp 2 energy from the top of your deck. You place them in your energy. That's nasty. So even if you get it out, you're still gonna have 2 energy up to be able to defend or to do something else if you really need to. The game's not over by then. But these two here, probably the two best cards you can play for green blue, including the Bad Omen as well, probably being your other boss monster, just because it's not a very interactive card. You pay 4 energy and then you just take a life from them, so if they have 1 life, they really can't do anything about this. But yeah, this is my Piccolo deck. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. What cards from set 9 you would add to this, maybe even cards from Draft Box that you guys would add to it. Let's start a bit of a discussion down in the comments below. Again, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.